Hi, my name is Florian from Quality Guru, where I answer your questions and share knowledge about quality management. And today I want to answer a question submitted by Nokbui. And Nokbui, thank you first of all very much for asking this question and reaching out. And she is asking, what is the better job, SQA or SQE? Let's find out together. SQA or SQE, which one is the better job? And here I would like to start with a disclaimer, because of course I cannot tell you what is the better job for you. I can only explain what is the job of an SQA and SQE in many organizations, so that you have a basis for your decision making to see if you tend either more in this direction or in the other one. So this is my target, but also keep in mind that what I will tell you is very generic and it can be different in all the organizations. So when you go to an interview, please ask them specifically how they understand the role of the SQA and the role of the SQE in their specific organization, because maybe it might be different from what I'm saying here now. And which one is the better one for you depends also where you are now, where you want to be in 5 years, and how this job is getting you there. So let's start and look into it right now. SQA and SQE. So the first difference is the name of the position, where we can learn already something about it. So SQA, as I understand it, has the word supplier. So it's focused on the supplier. It has the word quality. It's about meeting quality requirements. If you don't know what quality is, check out my video, What is Quality? And assurance, which means somehow ensuring that something is meeting the quality requirements. So that means the SQA, from my point of view, is the gatekeeper, for example, in a manufacturing environment, in a factory, to ensure that when parts are coming from the supplier with the truck into the factory, those parts are always meeting the requirements. And they do this by performing several tasks, which I will mention in a minute. But let's look first at SQE, supplier, quality, meeting the requirements. Engineering. So what is engineering? And engineering is using scientific principles in order to build a certain function or machine or building, construction, part, product, whatsoever. So we're doing something on purpose with a specific target in mind. And the supplier quality engineer has the target to engineer quality into the product. So they are working together with the design department in the early stage in the development of a product, working together with the designer to see how can we design this product in a way that this product can be built in a way that always meets the requirements. So there's a lot of front loading involved in this job. And then in parallel, they're working with the supplier to build around the product a kind of quality management system or quality control process which will ensure that this product will be produced in a way that it all the time meets the requirements. So they are engineering quality into the product with the designers, and they are engineering quality into the process together with the supplier. These are the main differences on the service level between SQA and SQE. SQA is the gatekeeper, keeping the bad parts out of the quality, out of the company, and only letting the good parts in. And the SQE is the one to engineer quality into the product and to the supplier processes. Let's look a little bit on the task level. What are they doing in order to ensure this? So we have the SQA, who is the gatekeeper. How do they keep the gate? They have normally a team of inspectors who are checking that what the supplier is delivering is meeting the requirements. So for example, in terms of quantity, in terms of quality, is the packaging damaged, and so on. If there is a deviation, they immediately start the complaint process. That means they let the supplier know that something is wrong and they ask them to solve the problem. And here they probably might use a tool which is called the 8D report. If you don't know what this is, check out my video about 8D report. So once they start the problem solving supplier, they might block the parts, they might ask the supplier to replace the parts, whatever is needed in the situation. And then they will also be involved in the cost recovery later, because this for sure has some extra costs which have to be paid by the supplier if they're caused by the supplier. Then they will also give feedback to the supplier in performance evaluations. Many companies have scorecards on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis, and feedback to the supplier if they're good enough. If they're not good enough, they will be maybe blocked for business and cannot make any more business with the company. And they will also accept the PPAP coming from the supplier quality engineer who developed the part together with the supplier for the new project, and the SQA will review this and accept it as a new supplier into the supplier base of this factory. If you don't know what a PPAP is, check out my video about PPAP. And sometimes they might also go to the supplier if there's needs because there are problems at the supplier, or they want to audit the supplier because they have certain suspicion or they see a certain risk. They might also go to the supplier to check out the specific situation and work together with the supplier on solving those issues. So those are some specific tasks of a supplier quality assurance. Let me know if you have experience in supplier quality assurance and supplier quality engineering, if you see it in the same way, or if it's different in your company. Would be interesting to read about your opinion and experience. Let's look at the SQE on the other side. The SQE is their engineering quality into the part and quality into the process. They are first of all interested in the lessons learned. That means what went wrong in the past. Take these problems and think about how can we avoid it in the next generation of our products, and engineer the solutions into the parts and processes. Then they would accompany the supplier in the whole PPAP part release process. That means how to do the quality planning. For example, doing a proper risk analysis, like using an FMEA, using a control plan, then for the production control, using proper inspection techniques, equipment, and also verify that those equipments are adequate in order to meet the requirements. They would also support the factories in many cases if there are some critical topics where a supplier is really getting out of control and affecting the company in a risky way. And SQEs in many organizations also, they work within the purchasing department and consulting the commercial, or giving the voice of the quality in the commercial discussions. That means the purchasing department, this makes it somehow also a strategic role, because the purchasing department is always looking for better suppliers, more competitive suppliers in terms of cheaper prices, better quality, better delivery, in order to get the best offer for the company. And the SQE in many organizations is accompanying this dialogue to give feedback on terms of the delivery performance and the quality capabilities of the specific supplier, so to make sure that they only choose suppliers which are capable, and if they're not capable, ensure that they go through an adequate supplier development program before they can be considered for projects with the company. So those are the major differences. You have on the one hand side the SQE, the gatekeeper in the plant, very operational role, reacting immediately if there is a deviation to the quality management requirements. And then you have on the other side the SQE, which is mostly working on projects, so following a project timeline, working with several suppliers, and then engineering quality into the new generation of products. What is also different is the definition of the supplier base. For example, in the SQA, you have normally a factory which is having many suppliers for all the commodities. So for example, if you produce cell phones, you will receive glass components, you will receive cases, you will receive electronic parts. All this will go into the factory, and the SQA will make sure that it meets the requirements. So you have one location, many suppliers, while on the SQE side, they are often responsible only for a specific group of suppliers Could be one very big supplier, could be a group of commodities, or the plastic supplier, or the glass supplier, or the case supplier, or the electronics suppliers. So they would probably be responsible for a portfolio of suppliers, but be fully responsible for the overall long-term management of those suppliers. So on the one hand, SQA is a little bit more operational, and the SQE is somehow more involved in project work and strategic support of the purchasing department. So which one is the better one? I hope this helps you to get an idea and a feeling for what could be more interesting for you. I was looking on the internet in terms of salaries, who is earning more, and I could not get a clear picture. So I see that SQAs can earn the same amount of money as SQEs. It depends always on the organizations. But what I see is that the range for the salaries is very big. So that means that smaller organizations with less complex procedures and products pay much less money than the big corporations with very complex procedures and very complex products. I think this is logical. So check out how is this meaningful, or what does it mean in your specific case. I hope this helps you to make a decision, and let me know if this was helpful in the comments. If you agree or disagree to my description of these two roles, I'm sure they are worked differently in different organizations, but my purpose was to give you a general overview about this, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.